But here's the key point. Premium clients don't buy based on price. They buy based on how sure they are going to get the results. How sure are they that they will actually get results? Welcome to Creating Powerful Impact. I'm Shay Wheat, founder of Grace and Ease Productions, where we work with people doing good work in the world and we help them do more of it in a powerful and profitable way. Now, today we are going to be talking about something that might change how you think about your pricing, especially for your events and your high-priced offers, or your high-ticket offers. And so if I could start you off with a quick truth bomb, here it is. Charging too little isn't just hurting your bank account, it's actually pushing away your ideal clients. I know this sounds backwards. Aren't lower prices supposed to be bringing in more clients? Isn't being affordable good for your business? What if I told you that for coaches, consultants, and experts who offer literally life-changing services, lower pricing might be the very thing stopping you from getting clients who would happily pay top dollar for your help? So today I'm going to explain what I call the psychology of premium. It's really this interesting link between price and value and client quality. I'll also show you how to position yourself to attract clients who are ready to invest big in your solutions. So, if you are a business owner struggling to fill your events, or if people are buying but at a lower price than you'd like, this episode is made just for you. Let me get us started with telling you about Dr. T. Now, he is a science-based personal development expert who came to us when he was ready to start planning his big 4-day event. He had been doing it internally with his team, and it's just gotten to the point where his team needed to really focus on what they do best and not be completely consumed by the logistics and the planning and all of those pieces. So we would take that piece off of their plate. And the event had great content. I mean, literally life-changing exercises. And, he's a super charismatic leader. He's got great, deep knowledge. But when we looked at last year's results, we really spotted a big problem. What had happened was the event was priced way too low for the value it gave. And the sales plan didn't match with the premium value of the work. So Dr. T had fallen into what I call the accessibility trap, thinking that lower prices would make his work available to more people and thus bring in more money. It actually happens more often than you would believe to a number of coaches and consultants and leaders out in the space. So here's what we saw was really happening. By pricing his event too low, he was sending a signal to his potential high value clients that the transformation just wasn't great enough. So if you were to think about it, when you go and you see a Rolex watch priced at $50, you don't think, oh my God, what a deal. You think, that must be a fake, right? Like the same thing happens for transformation events. When the price doesn't match the promised result, people don't think, oh my God, that's a great deal. They think, it's probably not going to work. It's not worth my time. I'm not going to get the value I need to. And this is really the devaluation effect, in effect, right? Like if we have, that's when we're taking a look at our medical clients, so our medical doctors that are talking to other medical doctors and helping them grow their practices. If we were to walk in and go, it's a $97 ticket, they are absolutely going to think it is a Rolex fake, because what they're used to in the space is spending $2,000, $3,000 for an event ticket, because they're equating that with the value they get from those events. And we know the value that we are producing in the event that we're going to be delivering. And we want to make sure that they actually match up appropriately. So that was the devaluation effect. Now, with Dr. T, his lowering price was bringing in people who were honestly just looking for bargains rather than life-changing results. You all know the people out there that are just going from free to free to free to free, right? These clients were more likely to argue about the price, resist actually doing the work, and less likely to get results. So now we're creating a bad cycle that hurts your reviews and your referrals. So there was just a client quality mismatch happening. Now, next, this part here is where it gets really, really interesting. He was actually spending more money helping lower paying clients. How, you might be asking? Well, they needed more support, they had more questions, and were more likely to ask for refunds, all while paying less. Like, this in itself is a huge hidden money drain. And frankly, all of these things is just like the premium paradox, right? That we run into. It's charging less. When you charge less, it often just frankly costs you more, and you're bringing in clients who value your work less. That's the paradox that we're running into. And sadly, I see this pattern with coaches and consultants and experts at all levels. Like, they're great at what they do, they deliver amazing value, but they're stuck in a pricing structure that pushes away the premium clients that they want to work with. So you might be going, that's great and fantastic, Shay. I might be in that bucket. How do I shift it? Okay, so you're right, there is a better way. And it starts with really understanding what I call the premium client psychology. This is literally the mindset of high value clients that most experts don't understand, or if they do, they might also be doing it intuitively. But here's the key point. Premium clients don't buy based on price. They buy based on how sure they are going to get the results. How sure are they that they will actually get results? So, let me share with you kind of what happened when we worked with Dr. T to change his signature event around. Instead of focusing on making the event affordable, we repositioned it as an exclusive high value experience. We raised the price a lot while making the event feel and actually be more valuable. This is not just like changing the price tag, right? Like, we transformed the entire approach through a couple of changes, really big changes. So we went from price-based to value-based messaging. We removed all of the affordable language from the marketing. We focused on the specific changes attendees would experience and the real results they could expect. Now, this change alone changed just the types of questions people were even asking. We went from, is there a payment plan, to, can you tell me more about how this is going to help me achieve X, Y, and Z? Like, those are the value-based questions we're really wanting to lean into. and we know that we have the right audience. We also went from the volume goals to transformation goals. So rather than trying to get as many people as possible to the event, we set goals about how many people we'd help transform. Now, this meant being more selective about who the event was for, clearly stating who should not attend, and focusing on the quality over the quantity. And so, we're not going for, gosh, way back in the day. Do you remember the events where it's like filling up stadiums and it was just like literally a pitch fest with a whole bunch of people and you're just like, oh, another person selling me, another person selling me. There wasn't a whole lot of value. It was just them selling you, right? So we don't want that. We want actual transformation happening. Okay. Um, and this also created a feeling of wanting to belong to a special group that represents where you want to be and where you are. It's just not where you are, where you want to be, right? So that's a key piece of going from the volume goals to transformation goals. And then we went from the feature focus to the experience focus. So we redesigned how the event was described and delivered, focusing on the carefully planned experience rather than just the topics. Okay. This included details on how sales conversions would happen, creating special moments throughout the event, and really making sure every part of the event felt premium. So when we implemented these pieces of it, honestly, I'm excited because the results were amazing. The event had really good attendance with people showing up each day, showing us that they were engaged. Have you ever had the moments where it's like day one and then, there's huge drop off on day two and day three? That wasn't happening here. Everybody was showing up. But the real change was in the sales numbers, right? So with a much higher price point, nearly 1/3 of the attendees said yes to the high ticket offer. So the return on investment was almost 10 times higher. And then on top of that, the interesting part was really the total number of people wasn't that different than before. What changed was who came and how they engaged with the content and how ready they were to invest in the continued growth. And then I just loved it. His operations manager later told us, he was like, you know, the event felt more organized and under control once we got outside help from you guys and really focused on the premium positioning rather than just getting a bunch of people to show up, right? So it also kind of creates that community and connection that so many of us are wanting in this day and age right now. And I think is really super important too. If you're going to be offering a high ticket program and you're going to be spending a year with these people, don't you want to be with the people that resonate and are wanting to do the work and wanting to show up and not be the headache of asking how can I get a refund? Can I change my payment plan? All of those pieces. Yeah, me too. So, how do you make this change in your own business and with your own events, right? Well, what we do is we utilize a framework for premium positioning, and this is what I call our price psychology matrix. So each letter stands for an important part of the premium psychology that you need to understand and use. So, price. P is for positioning before pricing. So, the most common mistake I see is focusing on the price before establishing proper marketing positioning. Premium is a position, it's not just a price tag. So, how are we We're wanting to look at the positioning before we determine the pricing for the event itself. So this means that you need to clearly define what kind of transformation you offer, right? And we know that we're leading that into the offer as your high ticket offer at the end, or, you know, depending on the type of event, could be on day 2 versus that's a whole nother podcast. But then you're going to want to identify the unique approach that only you can provide, show how you're different from alternatives, and create some comparison points that make your solution the best, right? So when we did this with one of my other clients, Matt, he's in the medical industry. He's a consultant. He helps other medical professionals add cash-based services to their practices. And in doing so, you know, learning to grow their business. They went to medical school to learn medicine. They didn't go to medical school to learn business. And so he's supporting them in that space. And at first, he thought his program needed to be affordable for healthcare providers. And so we actually supported him in crafting and creating his offer and completely repositioning it, not just at cost, but as a valuable business asset that would transform their practice finances, really. And so I love it. The result that we ended up getting with him is his year-long high-ticket program made over $1.1 million in just 6 months. And specifically, it was coming from the positioning of the transformation before we even talked about the price, right? So that's P, is the positioning. R is risk reversal psychology. So premium clients aren't afraid to invest. What they're really honestly afraid of is risk. So your job isn't just to like lower prices. It's to lower the fear of not getting the desired result that they want. They're happy to pay for it. They just want to make sure that you are going to deliver the actual result. And frankly, we've been in, I'm sure all of us, in positions where we've invested and they didn't actually deliver the results, right? So we want to make sure that we're aligning the two pieces and then actually deliver it, right? So what this means is creating super clear outcome guarantees. And of course, we want to make sure that it's ethical and appropriate. We want a transparent process that they can easily see and understand. We want to make sure that we're including social proof from similar clients. And we want to support structures to help them actually implement it and get those results. So this premium mindset really values certainty of outcome over saving money. So when we work with, clients like Lisa Nichols, who's one of the top motivational speakers, we don't focus on making her programs cheaper. We focus on making the transformation process more certain and visible. So when you start looking at this approach, it really helps increase the attendance. When we did this for Lisa at one of her major events by 113%. With more than, I think it was 94% of the registered attendees in the room were in the room at the time that we made the offer, which obviously then helps, make the revenue jump compared to, previous events. So it's really important that we're taking a look at that risk reversal psychology piece. Now, moving on to I is identity alignment. This may be probably one of the most powerful parts of the premium psychology. The high ticket purchases are fundamentally about identity, not money, right? So premium clients, they don't ask, can I afford this? They ask, is this who I am? Is this who I am becoming? Is this the next best step for me? Is this the direction is going to allow me to hit my goals and hit my outcomes that I'm looking for in my life? So what this means for you is that your event and your offers must absolutely reflect the identity your ideal clients want to have. It needs to create clear separation from their current identity and provide meaningful status signals that they can internalize and share. It also needs to create community belonging with their peers that they respect. So when we were helping Matt develop his high ticket, year-long program, we specifically designed it to help medical professionals see themselves in innovative, it's like move them into the space where they saw themselves as innovative practice owners rather than just healthcare providers, right? It's this identity shift was far more powerful than any discussion we could have about money. And I think that's the piece that most people miss when they're talking about the transformation that they provide in the work that they do. Let's move on to C, cognitive dissonance management. So premium clients experience significant mental conflict when considering big investments. Your pricing strategy needs to address this psychology like directly, head on, okay? And what this requires is an understanding that the comfort, stretch, panic price zones for your specific audience. Like you need to know what's comfortable, what's a stretch, what's a panic. What are those different minimum, stretch or regular and stretch? Like what are those zones for your group? And then how to place your offer precisely in the stretch zone, right? So comfort too low, panic not happening. What's the stretch zone for your people? And then the specific objections that arise at different price points and how to provide appropriate reassurance on all of those pieces. So for example, when we worked with one of our clients on her events, we didn't just set prices, we created, something that's called alignment sequences that walk potential attendees through a thought process that makes the investment really feel aligned with their values and their goals. And this approach has helped her business build a business that really empowers women entrepreneurs worldwide while also raising significant funds for environmental causes, which are super important to her. So at one of these events, what we were able to do was we were able to pull out 9 Golden Gate bridges full of trash out of the ocean. Part of the event was a give back event to incorporate the environmental causes that the host was so tied to and has such a passion for. And in creating this community and connection and all of the other pieces of the price psychology matrix, we were able to like enroll them in joining us on the journey. 9 Golden Gate bridges full of trash pulled out of the ocean. We raised that much money. That's amazing to me. But that's the power of utilizing events and really supporting your audience to jump on board with you and create that wave of change. Okay, the last letter is E, and that is experience orchestration. So premium pricing requires premium experience at every single touch point, right? Can we all agree to that? It's not just during the main delivery of your service. So what this part here means, it's carefully designing the pre-purchase experience How does the inquiry call feel? How are they coming in pre-event? It requires designing the purchase moment, how it feels to say yes, the onboarding journey, the first 24 to 48 hours after purchase, the delivery experience, how your event or your programs unfolds, and then, of course, the completion experience of how the client feels at the end of working with you. That whole experience needs to happen and occur um, when you're looking at the pricing of your offers and even the experience of your event. We go through something similar in the event experience, from them making considering buying a ticket to them purchasing the ticket to them joining you. What does the 24 to 48 hours after purchasing the ticket look like? And then the delivery experience is the event itself. And then what does the end of the experience look like, right? It's the same process that we use for your offer as we use for the event, so on and so forth. So when we work with clients like Mike does a lot of mastermind events for his audience, right? So it's an internal fulfillment event delivering upon what he's already sold as they get together and mastermind together. And in this one, we focused really kind of obsessively on that experiential details that some people honestly really overlook, right? You have the people that are like, woohoo, I got the sale, they're in, off going to find another sale. But when you really take a look at the experiential details of how the registration flows and how the room is set up for optimal connection and how the meals create community and how the sales conversations is just like it's seamlessly integrated into the overall experience. Honestly, guys, this is where your retention lies, right? This approach really has enabled Mike to consistently fill these masterminds with his ideal clients while creating crazy awesome retention rates because the experience justifies the premium investment at every step. And so they stay. So when you really take a look at all 5 of these elements and when they're properly aligned, your pricing can reflect the true value of the transformation without pushing away your ideal clients. And in fact, the right price becomes a attractive force for the right clients, which is what I love, right? It's a good next step. It's a good fit. So, how do we go ahead and put this into practice? Well, let me tell you, there are 3 immediate steps that you can start taking to start using the psychology of premium for yourself and in your business. Step 1 is to conduct an audit. Conduct a premium perception audit. Really take a hard look at every client touch point in your business and score each of these on a scale of 1 to 10 and how premium does it really feel. This includes looking at your website and your marketing materials, your application or your booking process, your event registration experience, your follow-up communication, your presentation slides and your materials, the physical environment of your events, and how you and your team interact with your attendees. Be brutally honest about it, and score yourself accordingly. You know, that's the only way that we're going to know, okay, this is where we're at, and now how do we start moving forward to look at changing your price point potentially. Step 2 is to identify your premium price anchors. So premium pricing doesn't happen in a vacuum. It happens in relation to meaningful price anchors. So you're going to want to create 3 critical anchors. You're going to have your gold standard price. What would make this absolutely premium? Like go crazy, go wild with it. You're going to want your competitive alternative price. What do similar options cost? And then you want your cost of inaction price. bet you thought I was gonna go with the lowest price possible. No, no, no. This is your cost of inaction price. What does it cost clients to not solve the problem? These anchors create the psychological frame within your actual price, how it will be perceived. Okay. And then step 3 is creating your premium messaging matrix. So before changing any actual prices, rewrite how you talk about your events and your offers. You want to really develop clear language for the specific transformation you provide, which is that outcome type language. Who the experience is specifically designed for, that's your identity language. The why your approach is uniquely effective, which is your methodology type of language. And then how the experience will feel different from the alternatives. And that's the experiential language. So this messaging shift alone can really dramatically change how your current prices are perceived while preparing the ground for the actual price increase. And if I can give you a bonus tip today, it would be this. Let me start again. Stop trying to be the worth the price and start being worth the journey. Premium clients invest in transformational journeys, not just event tickets or program spots. Be worth the journey, not worth the price. And this mind shift honestly feels like that's how you really transform your position and your pricing and your offerings. So I know we've covered a lot today, and I want to say something also to you, that raising your prices isn't just about making more money. It's about creating the resources and the space to deliver truly transformative experiences to the right clients. So when you price your events and your programs appropriately, you're able to create extraordinary experiences without cutting corners. You're able to attract committed clients who do the work and get results. You're able to generate testimonials that attract more ideal clients. And you build a sustainable business that can serve at the highest level. And this is what I mean by creating powerful impact. Really designing experiences that not only deliver value, but attract the clients who will most benefit from and appreciate your unique gifts. And if you're ready to transform how you position and price your events without compromising your integrity or alienating your audience, what I've done is I've created a special resource for you, and that's called the Premium Positioning Playbook. 5 scripts to attract high-ticket clients without feeling salesy. Now, this guide contains the exact language patterns that we use with our clients to create premium positioning, overcome price objections, and facilitate natural conversions into high-ticket offers. And you can download that for free at graceandeaseproductions.com/premium. And if you are an established coach, consultant, or thought leader who's tired of undercharging for your events and you're ready for a done for you, done with you solution, I invite you to book a call with our team. During this 45-minute call, we will analyze your current event strategy, identify your specific positioning blind spots, and determine if our team at Grace and Ease Productions can help you create events that attract and convert premium clients. These sessions are limited, and we only really accept clients we are confident we can help. And if we can't help you right now, then we will give you the resource of what you need to do next so that you will be ready. Simply apply at eventsarepowerful.com. Remember this: undercharging isn't just hurting your income, it's actively pushing away your ideal clients. Start using the psychology of premium and watch how it will transform not just your revenue, but the quality of clients you attract and the impact that you create. I'm Shay Wheat, and this has been Creating Powerful Impact. If this episode resonated with you, please share it with a fellow expert who might be struggling with pricing and positioning. And I'll see you next time. Take care. Thank you so much for listening to the Creating Powerful Impact podcast. If you are a successful coach, speaker, author, or thought leader who would like to be on this program, simply visit creatingpowerfulimpact.com/guest. If you are someone who got something out of this interview, would you please do me a favor and share this episode on social media? Just do a quick screenshot with your phone and text it to a friend or post it on your socials. Also, if you know somebody that would be a great guest, tag them on social media to let them know about the show and include the hashtag Creating Powerful Impact. I love seeing all of your posts and great guest selections. We are regularly putting out new episodes and content. To make sure you don't miss any episodes, go ahead and subscribe. Your thumbs up, ratings, and reviews go a long way to help promote the show, and they really mean a lot to me and my team. Want to know more about us? Head on over to our website, graceandeaseproductions.com, or follow me on LinkedIn, Facebook, or Instagram. Just look for Grace and Ease Productions on your favorite platform. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.